Attack on Titan is a ball of strings with its strands attached to every possible thing in the world. Or is it? Whatever the case may be, the fans of the series do like to bring up potential fan theories that tie Eldia and Marley to the real world out there. And today we're going to discuss just that. So let's begin. Number 10. The Time Loop Theory. A very avid fan on Reddit, user Real Life Corgi, theorized that the Titans were originally experiments to increase the military might of the armies in the subcontinent. However, they ended up losing the vaccine, thus resulting in the Titans running rampant all across the continent, which was actually a very small piece of land. The secrets to the vaccine were discovered by Grisha, Eren's father, and thus he had to live under the radar for a few years and devise the vaccine in his basement. However, he died earlier than expected due to the Titan assault, and the vaccine was never completed. The line, "to you 2,000 years from now," was supposed to be hinting towards the time travel part of the anime. Eren's mother allegedly sent him back into the past from the year 2800 in an effort to try and save humanity from annihilation. However, all time loops ended up with the destruction of humanity with little to no hope. Number 9. The Titan Shifter Village Outside the Walls. Berthold was awkward to begin with, and Reiner proved to be a total nutjob by the time their real identities were revealed in the anime. However, as the anime and manga progressed and we got closer to return to shinganshina arc, people began to speculate that Berthold and Reiner actually belonged to a clan of Titan shifters which resided outside the outer walls of the kingdom. This theory proved to be a riot-causing anomaly for the OG fans, as they wanted to see more such shifters and explore the possibility of many types of shifters. But all this would prove to be lengthy, over-explanatory, and overall bad pacing for the anime, which moved quite nimbly all the seasons so far. But we all know how that panned out. Theorizing a village full of Titan shifters was far easier and more anime-centric rhetoric, as many anime generalize a certain clan with great powers. They are better than the rest. However, Attack on Titan is not your average shonen anime. Number 8. The Book of Armin Theory. Many fans must have noticed this in the first season itself, that the voice actor of Armin and the narrator of the story were one and the same person. For a long time during the run of the first 3 seasons of the series, a widely accepted fan theory was that all of this was happening inside a book, written by Armin as he's the one narrating the story. And while the contents of the book were earlier fiction or loosely based on reality, which was debatable, one thing that was clear was that the theory wasn't looking too strong. As the following seasons unfolded, this theory too crumbled into the ashes from where it first began, as the introduction of the nation of Marley and the events that followed proved that whatever assumptions of the future were being made proved out to be highly incorrect, as Armin all throughout season 4 had no clue as to what was happening around him. Number 7. Postapocalyptic World. This theory was actually pretty solid when we looked at the premise of Attack on Titan, a section of humans limited to a designated place with no information as to what the world looks like on the outside, and a permanent instilled fear of dying at the hands of Titans that roam the barren lands outside the walls. Everything exactly matched the theme of a post-apocalyptic world. However, if the plot of Attack on Titan actually was that simple, we wouldn't be out here writing these theories now, would we? As soon as the Armored Titan and the Colossal Titan showed up with the physical characteristics largely differentiating them from other Titans, it was proved that the conspiracy was actually way deeper than what it looked from the outside. All of this proved out to be true when a grief and dementia-struck Reiner decided to just blatantly reveal the plan that the Marleyans spent decades trying to plot in order to capture the founder Titan. Number 6. Eren's Mask of Abomination. The sympathizers of Eren's cause, or the real-world Jaegerists in short, came up with an out-of-the-box yet plausible theory regarding what the outcome of Eren's assault was supposed to be this whole time. They explained that whatever Eren did to humanity outside the walls was to portray himself as a villain, only to decisively lose at the end of the hands of his fellow Eldians. This was to move the former devils of the Paradise Island into the good books of the rest of the world, thus instilling peace. He wanted to repeat history by posing as a tyrant, just as King Karl Fritz did, and letting the Paradise forces take the win, just like Karl Fritz let the hero Helos take the victory on his behalf, so that the people have someone to look up to, even if that person is an imposter. This theory actually stood strong up until the last chapters of the manga were published, which turned the theory on its head, and pointed it out towards the trash section. Number 5. Zeke turns out to be Erwin's father. Looking at it several years later, when almost every detail of the AOT world is right in front of us, we cannot help but laugh at fans who actually believed that Zeke could have been the father of Erwin. However, all the anime enthusiasts who claimed that they knew it all along are just denying the fact that they actually got fooled. When Zeke and the Beast Titan were revealed during the Return of the Shinganshina District arc, almost nothing was known about him, and the long facial hair didn't contribute much to his cause either, as the dude could really be mistaken for a 50 to 60-year-old Caucasian man. Things also lined up at Eren's end, as it was believed that his father just disappeared when he started getting infatuated with finding the real history of the island and suddenly disappeared. It could have very well played out in a way where he escaped the island and joined the unknown forces, with which Reiner and Berthold were associated. Number 4. Titans made out of yeast. Yep, you heard that right. There were a large number of people who gave a thumbs up to this theory, which might sound straight out a lunatic at first, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you get into the gist of things. The arguments made by these serial theorists were that the similarities in functioning between yeast as a substance and whatever the Titan body was made of were very similar. Yeast produces a lot of gas and heat, similar to what Titans do during transformation or using an ability like the steam of the colossal Titan. Another uncanny resemblance between their characteristics was that yeast is more productive after it has absorbed UV rays or sunlight, something pure Titans have been notorious for doing. All this and the added hint that the yeast-produced nutjob was used to preserve food, indirectly hinted at Titan bodies acting as yeast and protecting the human host inside. Number 3. The Multiverse Theory. Now, wait and listen up. This is not some Marvel Cinematic Universe ripoff, but this is one of the more credible theories. Another user on Reddit, user EmiEgo, developed quite a deep and thrilling story that kind of hinted towards the world of Attack on Titan not being the only world in existence within the creations of Hajime Isayama. The frequently appearing Attack on School panels within the original manga had the chibi Eren thinking about creating difficult situations for himself in order to get stronger. Not only was this a nod towards his actual personality in the manga, but a panel from the Attack on School actually appeared in one manga panel of the original illustrations within Eren's dream. Now, as the series has ended and the theory has died out without a possible explanation, we can only wonder about the possibilities of an Attack on Titan multiverse existing, and getting to see the murderous and chibi Eren interact. Number 2. Attack on Titan was actually based on World War II. All the settings, clothing, ethnicities, and Germanic names of many characters hinted at the story being based on early 40s Europe. However, this theory couldn't even see the light of day for the first 20 minutes of the first episode as the Titans attacked, and the story kinda scrambled out of control. But in spite of the imaginary correlations, some fans do draw similarities between the story of Attack on Titan and the actual history of Germany during the late 30s and early 40s. The rampant narcissism and the widespread persecution of different ethnicities all across Nazi Germany. The Eldians could very well be compared to the Jews of Germany on account of how they were treated. However, the Marleyans actually were quite soft on the populace, considering that Hitler directly wrote a death sentence for anyone who associated with a Jew. Number 1. Eren is still alive. Yes, you heard it right. Eren might still be out there in the grassy fields of Paradis Island, having regenerated his body and living the remnants of his life as a human. Fans cannot digest the fact that a person of Eren's caliber would just roll over and die like that, abandoning the goals he pursued all his life, going as far as to serve his friendships and comrades. Eren might have realized that the remaining 20% of humanity is no longer a threat, and the added persuasions from his would-be lover convinced him to stop the slaughter and settle down for the few remaining years he has in the world due to the curse of Ymir, which are 4 to be exact. However, all of this could also be just tatter, as Isayama is not out here in the comments of the videos to confirm it, but you are definitely here, so comment down your favorite theory from our list, or any other one you think we missed. See you next time!